Well, in the beginning, there was AC/DC. What did you think of night one of WrestleMania? I guess it started actually before AC/DC.
I was waiting for some kind of fucking question.
Stephanie McMahon opened up the show from a studio, welcoming everyone to this unique two-night WrestleMania. Well, let me ask you about this first. Beyond the actual content of the programs, they have been rather long, these WrestleManias.
Yes.
Did you like the idea of breaking it up over two nights?
Yes, because that allowed me to, actually the network allowed me to go back the next day and watch the whole fucking schmear at my own pace, which in some cases, as we will find, was zipping through the slow spots. But yeah, it's easier to digest a show of that length. So yes, and I know they have a stadium. They can't fill a stadium twice in a row or whatever, but it's just sometimes everybody can't play in a goddamn championship game. Have a livable length of a show, 4 hours for a big TV production like that. When you're doing 6 or 7, it's ridiculous. Even if next year, I'm not one of the people in favor of having the greatest show on earth that only happens once a year, 2 days in a row. Just don't let everybody on the goddamn show and don't indulge everybody to go 35 fucking minutes. That would help some of it. But anyway, I digress. The Stephanie McMahon intro I liked because she let us know that the WWE was doing us a big favor presenting this show in all of our times of strife. So fuck. This will be a common theme throughout the program. I love everything that the technicians at the studio of the WWE does. The video editors and the guys that, Dave Sahadi, who recently has been working for Impact again, worked for TNA for years. He worked for the WWE for years and was the guy that would write those dramatic voiceover intros that was really cool and talked about the rivalries and the championships and the glory without just being all fucking showbiz, right? He had the big feel to it. He was a great copywriter, and they'd get the best voiceover voices. And the packages that they do, whether it be the America the Beautiful montage, which I'll tell you a funny story about in a minute, or the Hollywood intro montage, that shit, it's state-of-the-art editing and production and graphics. And they have a Hollywood quality or network television quality facility there, and the people in that studio know what the fuck they're doing. And this now, as we've seen, is a movie company. But imagine, I always go back to they harnessed that for good. If you harnessed the talent they have to make wrestling look like a shoot instead of like a goddamn theme park in some cases, they'd blow the UFC away. Even on fucking, network. But anyway, every time I hear Vince say the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, that's what they used to fuck with him about. Bruce and Pat and the people who had been around long enough to fuck with Vince in a chiding way about something he wasn't really fucking upset about. They would make fun of the way that he introduced Aretha Franklin at WrestleMania 3 and almost had a goddamn aneurysm. The Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. I can't say it loud now. It'll scare baby over here. But they, anyway, the montage was great. The intro, and for those about to rock, then that busted in, and they will license fucking legitimate music, which makes them look fucking big time instead of, doing all the generic bullshit. And the video was so good. If they had cut, I wrote this, if they had cut to a screaming stadium out of that For Those About to Rock video, I would have stood up. But instead, because of the fucking circumstances, we don't get a screaming stadium of 70,000 people, at least until Vince announces this attendance at 70,000 people. We don't get that. We get Ron Gronkowski standing on a fucking platform reading off a teleprompter with a slight, dusty lisp. Did you hear it? Just a little bit, baby.
Now that you say that, I kind of could hear it, but I didn't pick up on that.
There's a hint of it. As Austin Idol said one time, is there heat? I can feel it. It's not scalding, but it's there, baby. This was insufferable. He just fucking read a bunch of shit somebody'd written for him about how fucking cool he was. Hey, party on, Garth, or whatever the fuck. And brings in fucking Mojo Rawley. I wrote, it figures these two would be friends. What the fuck? It's like they're fucking 17 and, their first beer in the fucking basement.
I think it started with The Rock several years back, but the whole idea of a host for WrestleMania.
To do what?
What do they do? Yeah, there's no function to that role. It's just like we have someone we really want on the show and we can't come up with a creative way to use them, so there will be the host of the show and just randomly appear at times to say nothing.
But they found the right guy to do it in Ron Gronkowski.
Rob Gronkowski.
What, somebody stole from him? They robbed him? Well, maybe it was that Mojo Rawley picked his pocket while he was standing up here with him.